And I say, so you can't take Jeeps off-road? And literally, verbatim, he says to me, not if you want to keep your warranty.
Didn't even get to cross.
Okay, so Jesse and I, and actually Chris, right? It was Chris, right? Chris was there too with his Cherokee. We were in the back of, I don't remember exactly where we were, but we were somewhere where there was like an off-road trail or something like that. And we ended up coming out of the trail, and there was like a snow-covered parking lot. So I was like, okay, I want to see if I could do like a, what are those called? Like a tornado, a cyclone donut, right? So I put the car in four-wheel drive. I put my Jeep in four-wheel drive, and like it was fine. And the car was sliding. You could tell it was like iced over. It was like slushy, iced over, snow, and it was thick, right? Like it was a lot of snow. And then remember we were driving down the street, and I'm like, why the is my wheel like this? Like it was literally like off center, but we're going straight. So in order for me to keep the car straight, I had to literally like turn my wheel like a quarter of the way. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So then I drove it for a little bit because I'm like, okay, well maybe my alignment's out, and that's, you know, it's a big deal, but not a huge deal. Maybe, who knows what happened, I don't know. Maybe I didn't even notice it, but I'm like, okay, well maybe it got worse over time, and then something just happened to kick it out when I was doing, you know, maybe the donut or doing something, whatever, who knows. So then I go to take it to the dealership, you know, thinking that, oh, it's obviously going to be covered. It's not a, you know, whatever happened wasn't a big deal. So they called me up and they're like, what'd you do? I'm like, what do you mean, what did I do? They're like, well, you did something. You hit something or something happened. And I said, I didn't hit anything. What are you talking about? They're like, you had to have hit something like pretty hard. And I'm like, I didn't hit anything hard. I didn't do anything. There's nothing like crazy about this that happened. And they're like, yeah, you shredded your axle housing and you completely bent your steering knuckle. So I'm like, no. I'm like, you got the wrong Jeep. This isn't like nothing that I did. There's no way that anything I did caused that to happen. They're like, yeah, this is what happened. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever I did clearly wasn't supposed to have that happen to the Jeep, because I didn't do anything, so it's going to be covered under warranty. It's a Jeep Rubicon. It's got Dana 44s in it, front and rear, and you know, clearly this is like a manufacturer's defect, right? So then they call me up again, and they're like, damage is like $4,000 to something dollars. So there's about $4,000 in damage that I did apparently to the Jeep when we were going off-roading. And I'm like, $4,000 something dollars, like $4,200 or something like that. And I'm like, there's no way that it was $4,200 in damage. There's no way. So they're like, so what'd you hit? They asked me again, and I'm like, I didn't hit anything. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, you must have gone off-roading somewhere. And I'm like, if you call, like, I don't even know, like the shoulder of a road off-road, I don't know, like that's like pretty much the extent that I went on. And they claimed that I went off-road, and that because of that, they made the determination that I must have done this off-road, because there's no way that this would have happened, you know, with normal driving. And, you know, granted, I did a donut in four-wheel drive, you know, no big deal. It was not even like, you could see the car when we roll the clip, you could actually see the Jeep like almost like drifting. It was so icy and snowy out, right? And yeah, they were like, nope, Jeep's not covering the warranty. They're claiming that the car was clearly off-road, and that's it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? A Jeep. I have a Rubicon, a Jeep Rubicon with Dana 44 axles. It's got a disconnect. I could disconnect the sway bar. I could lock all the diffs, all that stuff. But I can't go off-road with my Jeep. And if I do, and something happens, it's not covered under warranty. That was the craziest thing I have ever experienced with, you know, a warranty on literally an off-road specific vehicle. Roll the clip. I don't know that I've ever seen one marketing campaign where Jeep was like literally on a road. Not one. And then literally, how long after? About a month later, we went to the Toronto Auto Show, and literally Jeep was literally hanging off the wall. It was literally in snow. They had a Jeep climbing a hill in rocks. Like, I don't know what the is going on with those guys over there, but clearly they're like literally misrepresenting what that car can do, like legit, or misrepresenting like what they're willing to do for their customer. I was honestly blown away by the experience that I received. Then I called Jeep. I talked to Jeep warranty, you know, the warranty department, whatever, at Jeep or Chrysler or whatever. I told them the scenario, and they're like, "Yep. Yeah, we don't cover like going off road or any of that type of stuff." And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a Jeep. Like why would you actually buy a Jeep and never think for 1 second like you can't take this off road? You would never buy that car, right? You would never buy a Jeep and think you can't go off road with this car. And then the guy tells me, and I say, so you can't take Jeeps off road? And literally verbatim, he says to me, not if you want to keep your warranty. That's literally what he said. I said, so you're never supposed to, what you're telling me is I'm not supposed to take my Jeep off-road, and no one is supposed to take their Jeep off-road. And he said, you can, but not if you want to keep your warranty. That's going to have a very big, that's going to play a very big factor in whether or not I do. I'll tell you that. A very big one. My Jeep's up. It's up in a little bit. So we're going to see.